How many booster boxes of Legends were cracked and opened for Lost Legends? I don't know the actual number. Even if I did, I'm not sure we share it. But it was pallets of the stuff. We have pictures and a video of just rows and rows in this warehouse of huge boxes that were just all Legends packs. So ton of stuff. It took us days. No, actually, it took us weeks to get everything open. So a lot is the answer. Yeah, months even.
That's right, Dragon Folk. You all heard it here, right? There's currently a lot of speculation happening. A lot of people are really, um, we're all together, all in the same way, putting on our own little tinfoil hats, and we're coming together to try and figure out what this means, right? But before we get into that, thank you all for being here. I really do appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoy our talks today. Obviously, feel free to put your comments in the comment section below. I'd love to chat with you all and see what you guys think about this. But today we're going to be talking about what the actual amount of Legends cards are being put into packs and what that could possibly mean for the actual print run for the collector boxes, or more specifically, the collector packs for Dominaria United. So, with this being the case, right? We have seen, and I'll show in a video, somewhere up in this area here. I will also show the video that is on Magic the Gathering's YouTube channel, right? Showing the staff opening these boxes of Legends, right? Now, there's a lot of speculation, right? There's a lot of speculation in the fact that the only boxes that they had opened were the ones on the table that they had done. But we can also tell from several other shots that they did other openings, individual openings for each person of a box, right, to get their first thoughts on it, right? I'm sure the staff members each got their own opening to do personally, and then they brought it to the table, and everybody else decided to open it as well. Now, whether or not this is the case, I'm not sure. We all have to be aware of the fact that we still don't know. Do we have a good idea? Yes, right? The question at hand here is something that we've been trying to figure out for a long time, right? Nothing that has been specifically disclosed to us, literally ever since they've come out, right? We've never gotten an idea on what these collector booster boxes print runs are. Print run is pretty much the collector's aphrodisiac. When you find out the print run of something, something tends to go up or down depending on what it is. So when it comes to this, we have some math to do, but honestly, there's not a whole lot of math to go into. What I mainly wanted to talk about specifically was that clip that we had just seen. That is taken at the end of the live stream during a Q&A that had happened on Thursday, July 21st, 2022, where they announced the Dominaria United spoilers and also the announcement of Lost Legends. So they announced that a Legends card, one of 244 cards, because the entirety of the set is not available. Certain cards were omitted from the list of cards that they put into packs, strictly because they were either offensive in a way, or they just didn't get enough of them, it seems, according to what their article says. I'll leave the article for all the cards you can find in Lost Legends in the description below, so feel free to check that out. So, what I want to go over here, right, is the fact that in the video that we watch, right, we see them go to, this warehouse, and they find these boxes, right? This is where like a lot of the big like tinfoil hat stuff starts, right? It all started the second they said we found some boxes in a warehouse somewhere, right? They didn't disclose where that warehouse was. They didn't say whether or not it was a shipping error or if it was just like somebody had a whole bunch of stuff. Like most that somebody said, one of the people who went up there said that it was a warehouse that was closing down, and they had product there that was to go back to Wizards, and apparently they had multiple millions of dollars worth of legends in this warehouse. Right now, I'm not sure the logistics of all that. I'm sure the warehouse owner in charge, if there even is one, was not disclosed and will not be disclosed. And the idea behind this is so incredibly interesting. I'm not sure where to like begin, right? There's several things that can go into effect here, and we're not entirely sure on all of it. But from what that clip that we just watched earlier will tell us is that if the pallet size is a lot, right? I'm not sure how much goes on a pallet. I'm going to go ahead and say there's probably a case every two rows. I'd imagine you can stack a good portion of those cases on top of one another, shrink wrap them, and make it happen, right? I can't give you a number, right? If you know how much comes on a pallet of legends, let me know. I'd be more than happy to get those numbers and kind of work through the stuff, right? So, what we know is that, according to that clip, they opened pallets of the stuff. Pallets of the stuff. Not only did they open pallets of it, right? But they also, it just wouldn't make any sense if they just opened the stuff that was on that table, right? On that table, there's roughly, 80, 90 boxes, probably, maybe even 100 boxes, right? A case of legends contains 10 boxes, which means that at most on that table, there's 10 cases of legends available there. That is 100 boxes of legends, still millions of dollars, right? Maybe not millions, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I think what we're trying to kind of grasp here is that there's a lot of people kind of speculating on whether or not the print run of collector booster boxes for Dominaria United can be determined by looking at the boxes available. But I want to kind of get into my crazy tinfoil hat theory, right? Now, Blake had stated that they opened pallets, that they had pallets of the stuff. That's how many booster boxes were opened of Legends. Pallets of booster boxes that they found in this warehouse. And it took them weeks, if not months, to open them. Now, of course, we can spin this both ways, right? You have the people who could tell you that he is making a front and he's just saying, he's just saying whatever he wants. He didn't disclose an actual number. He just kind of gave a vague answer in regards to this stuff. It very well could be a lie, right? But then you have people who are like, well, if it really is pallets and he's just not willing to disclose the number because he said pallets plural, then, I mean, how many boxes could be there? Could they have just loaded the table with boxes and have gone, all right, you guys get to go through this in a matter of a day's worth of opening, right? And just put them onto onto that table and everybody rip them, right? There's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the cameras to make things look like something is like happening, to get the shot people want as far as videography goes. That would be something crazy, right? When we all make thumbnails for box openings, right? Look at not to toss his name out there. He's a great guy. Joey Moss, right? Bad Boy Gaming. anytime he's got to make a thumbnail for his video, he makes it super crazy and cool, and these packs everywhere, or boxes lined up to the sky. Like, you got to do something to make it look interesting, right? And I imagine an entire boardroom table filled with Legends boxes is a cool sight to see. But is that all they opened, right? If this took months, let's just think about all these people, right, who have to crack these packs, right? Do you really think that in a matter of weeks and months, they only opened less than 100 to less than 100 boxes, right? How long do you think it would take you if you are a YouTuber on, anywhere, not even if you're a YouTuber, if you've cracked a box before, how long does it take you normally to crack open a box, right? For a box that doesn't have any vintage stuff in it, yeah, you're probably going to, you're going to take not a lot of time. 20 minutes, right? Maybe 15. You can crack through at least 36 packs in that time, right? So if that's the case, right? And now this is just, escalated a little bit further because these cards are very rare and very much so in a vintage condition. What it would take maybe what? Would you assume maybe an hour? I'm going to assume maybe an hour per box, right? And they had multiple people working on these boxes. So let's say what did they count? Maybe like 8-10 people who were sitting there at that table, let alone all the other people who are cracking them in other places, if there are. If it's an hour per person on a regular 8-hour shift, right? Let's say it's 8 people. So at 8 people cracking a box an hour, you're looking at about 64 boxes cracked in an 8-hour time span, which is one day, right? You know what? We could even make it a little bit simpler, right? Because you got to ease out if they, whether or not Wizards actually takes care of their employees. I'm sure they do. 6 hours, right? Maybe 5 hours. Because, let's be honest, you're not going to get your whole staff to go in and crack Legends for 8 hours of their day on a regular basis. You could have people who do that, QA people who have nothing to do because the set's not out yet and they're all done working on it. You could make that happen, but let's even estimate 6 hours, right? So 8 people cracking it at 6 hours. They're 6 hours a day they're cracking it, which means that that's at least 48 boxes a day that get cracked in Legends, right? 48. Now that's already almost half of 100, right? And if this took them months, weeks, however long, right? This would be enough to let people know that it was more than just 100 boxes, right? And it's a rough guess, right? I don't know the answer to that. Wizards may know the answer to it, right? Obviously, there's a whole bunch of paperwork involved. If that ever gets leaked, then the entirety of, the answer will be found, right? But the odds of that being leaked are very, very, very low. If it happens, though, with that leak, we will learn what the actual print run is as far as what's been opened and what's been sealed. Because that because they found them in a warehouse, I don't think they opened all of them. That would be silly. That would be silly for them to not at least keep a couple. If there are, let's say, a maximum of 5 pallets, right? It'd be silly of them to not open or to open every single one, right? Keep 2, 3 pallets sealed, right? Hell, just open 1 pallet and then send it out, right? But if that's the case, I don't think Blake would have said pallets. He said they opened pallets. Again, we don't know, right? I can't give you math on a number that I don't know exists. But from what I can tell, I don't believe that we quite have an answer to this. Another tinfoil hat, conspiracy thing that I'm thinking about is what is, and obviously a very, big thing here, but what is stopping Wizards of the Coast, right? Really, what is stopping Wizards of the Coast from reprinting Legends cards, using some old card stock that they had from back in the day, because I'm sure they didn't throw that away, using some old card stock from back in the day, making Legends cards again, making their boxes again, and then repackaging them, putting them in a warehouse, and then going to retrieve them from said warehouse and claiming that they found it, that it was the original print run, right? Now, obviously, the only thing they have to lose in that regard is their reputation as a company. If that ever got leaked, or if something like that were to ever happen, it would tank the company entirely. There would be so much dishonesty, so many problems with this, right? But I don't believe anybody batted an eye when this happened with Zendikar. So the odds of it are, hey, sure, it could happen. With today's technology, a scammer could make almost equal, an almost equal replica of a vintage card. And unless you're trained in knowing how to grade cards and in authenticating cards, you would never know, right? You'd never know. I mean, you could probably, I don't know how many people know about the blue ink cardboard inside the card, right? When you rip open a card, there's blue ink in it, and that's how you can determine that a card is real, right? Obviously, you're not going to rip open a card to see, but you can see it through a flashlight, you can see it through other, there's means in order to check this stuff out. But if a scamming company can do it, and they can get away with it pretty frequently, then what's to say that Wizards can't get away with it, right? They throw it behind a PR thing and they go, oh, hey, right? Everybody's going to love this, right? We already did it once and everybody was totally for it. Now we're doing it again, but we're making it more accessible to everybody because it's in 3% of every booster pack. And we didn't say anything about it being first print run. So as far as we know, every collector booster pack has a 3% chance of having a Legends card in it. So this is where we really have to come and think about what's happening here, right? I want to believe that they didn't open every single box that they got. I also want to believe that Blake didn't misspeak, and he did in fact mean to say that he had pallets. They're not he. That they had pallets, and they opened pallets of the stuff, right? And it took them months, right? He said weeks, months even, to open this product. To me, there would be no way for it to take a company months to open less than 100 boxes. It doesn't make any sense. It makes zero sense that it would take months for a company like Wizards of the Coast to open this product and distribute it as such, even if it took at an hour per box opening, right? You're not expecting that to happen, right? It just won't. So that's kind of where I'm sitting at with this. I'm really trying to kind of figure out what exactly is the real the real outcome from this, right? If they open pallets of the stuff, right, then that means that the odds of you finding a common are very much so more common because they have that. But let's look at the thought process, right? Let's say there's, I don't know, we're gonna guesstimate, right? We're just gonna guesstimate. Let's say that there are 100 cases, or no, let's say there are 20 cases in a pallet, right? 20 times 10, 200 boxes in a pallet, right? Let's just estimate that it's 200 boxes in a pallet, right? Let's say they opened 4 pallets. So that's what? 800 boxes total, right? All right. Editing that math portion was a absolute nightmare. So I am going to go ahead and redo that now that I have my math on a more regular level. So we were talking about an estimated 800 boxes. This is also post video, Alex, for those of you guys know. We are talking 800 boxes, right? 800 possible boxes of Legends being opened. So 800 boxes being opened at a rate of, 48 boxes a day, right? So 800 boxes opened. And that means that we have 36 packs in a box at 15 cards a pack. That is 36 times 15, which is 540 cards per box, right? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and times that by 800, because that's how many boxes that were opened, right? That leaves us with this number, 432,000. That is a big number, right? So we take that 432,000. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take out all the cards that are not going to be in the set. There are 310 cards in the set total, and there are 244 of them are going to be put into Legends, the Lost Legends slot. So the math for that, we're going to be taking the amount of cards that are in the set in Dominaria United, and we're going to be dividing them by the amount of cards that are total in the set in actual Legends. So that is 244 divided by 310, which leaves you at about 0.78, right? So 0.78, that's looking at like 78% of the cards are going to be staying in for Legends, which means that a whopping 22% of them are not going to be in the Lost Legends slot, right? So what we're going to do now is we're going to take that 432,000 and we're going to go ahead and multiply it by 0.22. That number is 95,040. We are now going to take our big number of 432,000. We're going to take our new number and we're going to subtract it from 432,000. So 432,000 minus 95,040 is an estimated 336,960 cards that were put into Legends, right? So if we take that number and we divide it by 0.03, because 0.03 is 3% of what we are going to, it's the percentage of which you're going to be able to pull it from a pack, right? When we do that, we get the number 11,232,000, right? Now this is, of course, once again, on the estimate that we have 800 boxes and that 22% of cards pulled from these boxes, right, total, rough estimate, right, because obviously some cards are more common than others, and a lot of the cards that were banned due to these things, and cards that did not have a good print run in there, cards that were offensive, right, those cards were all taken out. It's a very estimated guess, but if we're looking at this, right, that's 11,232,000 packs that one card of Legends was put into, according to the point, the 3%, right? If we take that number and we go ahead and divide that by 12, which is the amount of packs in a collector booster box, we get a whopping 936,000 boxes. 936,000 boxes is our final total for how many collector booster boxes were created during the print run, right? Again, an estimated number, not actual information. I'm giving you the general idea of what to look for as far as the formula goes, but there are outliers, right? you give a little bit, take a little bit kind of concept, because these things are, certain cards you're going to get more of these in a pack than others. It's not guaranteed to get all the, you're not going to get the entire set of Legends in one box. You know what I mean? But the odds of this being the case seem to be pretty good. So almost 1 million collector booster boxes made, right? Almost 1 million. And that's a lot as far as a booster box goes. I have a feeling none of this is actually accurate. Obviously we don't know, right? We don't know what the final concept, we don't know how many they opened, right? We don't know. We just don't know. The most we can do is speculate. And I truly think that they opened more than what's on that table. Because I would, right? If I truly found pallets of the stuff and I was like, it's our 30th anniversary, what are we going to do? Oh, well, we have all this product. Why don't we just open it, have everybody kind of enjoy being a part of Magic, and put it into these collector packs? That's what we get. So, whether or not this is accurate, I have no idea. Whether or not I'm crazy is probably more accurate. But with these numbers, I think truly we're going to find a better idea, right? I don't think we'll ever know the number unless, of course, some press release happens, something occurs, print runs are cut short, yada, yada, and that's what we're looking at. So we have to stay tuned. We have to stay tuned and we have to see, because at 1 million boxes, I don't see why they couldn't. There's 12 packs in a box as opposed to 36. I don't see why they couldn't cap it at 1 million, right? I mean, the printer go burr, right? Like, that's just kind of the concept. Anyway, thank you guys so much for going through this. I know it was crazy. I redid the math and everything, and I looked at the actual numbers, and we got a better thought process of this. But I mainly wanted to kind of go over this and double check my work, as one would do with mathematics, and give a pretty accurate number, right? So if 800 boxes were opened, then you're looking at almost 1 million boxes made, 1 million collector boxes made for Dominaria United. That's a lot, but it's also not an impossibly high number, considering how many of them are cracked on a regular basis. But it is still pretty high. And considering that being the case, who knows? But we'll just have to see. So thank you for coming along to this Tin Hat, crazy ramble. The ravings of a madman will never cease. So hopefully all of you learned something today. Hopefully we're on the track to finding this stuff out. Obviously, somebody's going to be right. Somebody's going to be wrong. Something is going to happen, but we may never know, right? We'll probably never know unless, of course, we take some exec from Wizards and we get them to tell us, right? Live on stream or wherever, we get them to tell us how many boxes they open. And honestly, they could give us a random number and lie, and we would just have to believe it. We would have no idea. We'd have zero idea. So who knows, right? It's like fighting a ghost. You know what I mean? You can't fight through a ghost. It's just not going to happen. But anywho, thank you guys so much for being here. I do really appreciate your support. And thanks for hanging out. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about the math. Let me know what you think about what's exactly happening as far as this goes. And, let me know if you guys think that Wizards is on some kind of crazy nonsense. Because I would genuinely love to hear everyone's opinion on it. And hopefully we can all come together on an idea that, we may just never know the collector box print run. But we're going to try our darndest. So thank you again. Please remember to make it a great day or not. The choice is up to you. And I'll see you all in the next video. All right, guys. Nerd out.